The Morning Drive. This is Mirror Business FM. What is happening in the jobs market right now? And choosing culture over cash. The governor of Mackenzie Jones. See?
Love that.
David Mackenzie is here again. Nice to see you. So I wanted to ask you something, first of all. How about the Insta ad? Have you seen this? And this is a guy talking to himself, basically. Yeah. And he says, "Boss, I quit." Then it cuts to somebody who's obviously still him, slightly more boss-like, maybe wearing a cap, I can't remember.
Obviously.
And the boss says, "Okay, good luck finding a job in this economy." And then it cuts back to employee guy, and it says, "I already got one, and it only took me 1 week."
Rubbish.
I know. And then the story sort of unfolds, and it becomes go to Google AI Apply, and let it do the work for you. And it does like customized cover letters and sends out your CV to everybody. So I sent this to you last night, and you sent me a few notes back. But what did you think of that as a recruiter? Because I know you're such a fan of Easy Apply on LinkedIn. I just looked at that and I thought everything about this. I love the fact that people find work. That's great, but everything about this is wrong.
Well, two things. It doesn't take you a week to find a job. There's just no way, because the whole process takes time.
Well, the internet says you do.
Yeah, there's lots of things to it.
Do you think that's not true?
No. Like lightsabers aren't real, but we'd all love one.
Can you do the... I bet you can do the... I knew you'd be able to do it. That's the mark of a human.
It is, absolutely. But in all honesty, it's a bit clickbait, that. And I tried to look at that app. There is an app, you can download it. It's like 360 dirhams something to download. But it's everything wrong about why people are applying, because all it does, it says it'll fill out your CV how you think it should do to the advert you've put in. Yep. It fills in all and it will send out without you knowing. So you're going to get your CV sent out to 50 or 60 companies where you've put in there you think you're right for. So what's going to happen, I suspect it'll send to the same company 3 or 4 times. So as soon as the AI or the screening tool sees that, it'll automatically block you. If a line manager sees it, you've applied 3 times for 3 different jobs, the first thing they're going to go, this person has no idea what they're good at.
Yeah, well, I mean, all right then. So completely a waste of time. And
absolutely.
Not
not only is it a complete waste of time, the whole thing about a job search is about being specific, is about taking your time, about being focused, and about adding value to the job you're going for. So I put an advert out recently for a chief commercial officer. You had to have maritime experience.
I saw that.
Did you?
I read that for a specific reason, because I thought, I'll give that a go. Not tried that before.
I rest my case.
Career change coming. I read that because you've talked about this a lot, that, you know, read the bump and apply yourself to the task of applying for a job. Yep. That's kind of the key. So that's one I read.
But that particular example, I got about 700-800 replies for that.
Wow.
Of which I got people going, I'm not in the maritime industry, but I think I'm suitable for anyway, and they're working in a retail outlet. And I'm like, but you're not even remotely relevant for it. So what you've done is you've sent an email, you've taken time out of your day to do that, knowing you're not right for it, and I'm never going to probably come back to you. I did go back and said, you need to read the advert properly because you're not suitable for this role. These are the reasons why. They come back to me going, well, have you got any other roles I can look at? Immediately in my mind, I'm not going to work with that person ever.
Yeah. Okay.
Because now what I do get is I get candidates messaging me going, look, David, I know you've advertised a few roles. There's one from maritime. I'm not suitable for that, but this is my skill set. This is what I'm good for. Would you mind keeping an eye out? Absolutely. I love people like that because they've taken the time to write to me. They've taken the time to frame what they're suitable for, and they haven't just specced a CV into a completely unsuitable advert.
The thing with people that are just spam, and basically that's spamming you. It's just I'm trying to connect. I don't know what to do. You've not sat and thought about it. And it kind of warns you about that person, because one of the things, the only thing I think I've learned in life is that I'm still learning stuff, right?
Yeah, which is good.
But I'm still open to learning, and I think if you're that person that doesn't know how to apply yourself to applying for something, you've kind of stopped learning. So what's the point of bothering?
Because I think this is the culture today.
Is it?
The culture is that an easy apply is, it's my pet hate. And most recruiters, actually most clients, hate this product on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It's very much, you press a button, it'll just apply for the advert. You don't have to go through a screening process. You don't have to spend time actually doing it. I think in many ways, there's a certain scarcity in a role. So when you have to work to do something, the rewards are much better. Let me give you an analogy on this one, running.
Right.
Everyone can run. Everyone can run. Everyone can do a marathon. I know mentally some people don't think they can, but you don't start from day one and go, I'm going to do a marathon. You say, right, for 12 months, I'm going to start doing 1K a week, 2K second month, 3, and you build yourself up. It's a bit like when you're job search. You don't just go and go, right, I'm looking for jobs today, I'm going to apply to every single company I want to work for. What you should do is go, right, who do I want to work for? Who are the senior managers? Where does my role fit within that group? Who should I be connecting with? Let's raise my profile on the internet, on LinkedIn particularly, where I've got some skills. It's a long-term process, and that particular app is everything about applying that is wrong. Every single thing on that. If anybody ever buys that app, they're never going to get a job.
I agree with you. I thought the ad was just funny. That was kind of my main reason for sharing it, because it was just this switch between the bloke who changed his shirt or something.
But also you knew it would wind me up.
I knew it would get to you, yeah. But it's interesting that these things happen, and I just wonder if there's anything in any of this. The other thing, you say everybody can do a marathon, and I think there's probably truth in that. The bigger question, the better question is,
do you want
not everybody wants to do a marathon.
And that's exactly the point. Yeah. But go back to the job seeking. Everyone could potentially do my job as a recruiter. Not everyone's got the right skills or potentially wants to do it.
That's exactly right. Everybody can do this job because this job's just talking.
Yeah, I think you're underselling yourself a bit there.
But you know what I mean. On paper, that's how it is. But there's nuance to everything, and it's understanding that. It's accepting that.
But this is why the easy apply is bad, and it's a terrible tool, because what it does, LinkedIn did it because it pushes more volume through their network, so they can say, well, if you place an advert on LinkedIn, you're going to get an average of 1,000 responses. What they don't tell clients is 90% of those are complete rubbish.
No, true, but that's probably not the best sales pitch.
No.
So
I'm never going to work for LinkedIn.
I was going to contend, you just blamed your chances there, haven't you? The other thing with Easy Apply, the one thing I think with Easy Apply that is worth kind of talking up is very often LinkedIn will sit and say to you, LinkedIn will sit and say to you, what am I?
It's like Timothy the mower.
It is. It's very like that. But it will recommend you certain things.
Yes.
And it will say, you can apply easily for this job. So there is a filtering system of sorts.
But they're two different things. So what the algorithm does on LinkedIn, which is super smart, it looks at your profile, and you can put at the bottom where you think your skills lie. Like mine's recruitment, yours would be broadcast, radio, interviews. And then
that's exactly what mine is. Well done.
Plus there's more. I'm pricing. So, and what it then does is it scrolls through every live job, and it will send you ones that fit those particular, and they're pretty much, I reckon they're a 70% match. That's not to do with Easy Apply. Easy Apply is you as a candidate can go on to any advert. I could apply to be a petrol tanker driver or a tugboat captain, and I can just press that's quite a good job. I'm doing some work for a company at the moment that do tugboats. It's fascinating.
Oh, you would be such a good tugboat captain.
I think I'd use the horn too much.
Well, that would be a downside, but no, you'd be good.
Do you know what? I'll give you a little stat. So I had 911 for years, and I've always loved them. And about 10 years ago, I took it into the dealership, and the horn had broken.
I thought you meant phone 911. I'm thinking, why is it called in the emergency service?
Car 911.
What's going on?
I went into the dealership, and I said, what's happened? I said, the horn's broken. He goes, no, it's not possible. And I said, look, it doesn't work. And he goes, oh my God, there's only 2 people in the whole of the Middle East that have ever broken their horn. And my wife went, I told you so.
It's part of an exclusive club. You could start a tugboat captain's club with a broken 911 horn.
But going back to where we started,
that's a special skill.
So you can apply. I could apply for a tugboat captain just by pressing easy apply, and the client on the other end of the line, why has he applied? He's a recruiter.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is generally you're looking at what's been recommended to you, so you would easily apply the jobs that are recommended for you. Or a lot of us would. Maybe not all of us. Maybe no, really? People just spamming?
So what you do on LinkedIn, this is the problem.
Right.
In theory, that's exactly what you should be doing. When it's a recommended job, you go, look, that looks, I reckon 80% I can do that job. I've got the right skill set, the right experience, the right background.
Yeah.
Apply.
Yeah.
What happens is people go onto LinkedIn and they search for marketing jobs in Dubai.
And then it's just easy apply. Right, okay, got you.
Yeah, and it says in the marketing, you've got to have retail experience. So you've been working in oil and gas, and you apply for that role. That's the problem. This is the issue we're facing with LinkedIn at the moment.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it doesn't. The thing is, it's causing an issue in the Middle East where you're missing good people. You're missing good candidates because too many people are applying, and you're spending so much time screening the response. This is why people ask why AI is taking over the assessment and acquisition of candidates. It's because of this, because too many people are applying. We have to have some sort of mechanism that screens it down to a manageable amount that we can properly assess.
How important is it to, when you upload your CV, resume to LinkedIn, that you use their screening tool to make sure you've got the right phrases in there? Because, see, I have a real thing about jargon. I read lots of people's kind of précis about themselves, their intro paragraphs, and I just don't understand what they're saying. It's all thought leadership. It's all stuff that I think, I find it really confusing. So mine is absolutely not that. But the other day, I got sent you fit this role, and I thought, you really don't know me very well. I really don't want to do that. But it said, why don't you brush up your CV and make sure that you're using the appropriate phrases? And I haven't done it yet. And I looked at mine and I look at others and I think, I'm so far away from you. One of the things about this job was, if you had this phrased in this way, you would be an even better fit for this role. It was an 80% fit, and I'd bet a 95, whatever it was.
Keywords.
So that's exactly it, yeah. How important is that?
It is and it isn't. It is when you're using algorithms or you're using AI software to search for candidates. Right. Absolutely. Because what you do when you search on LinkedIn, you can use a thing called Boolean search. So you can put, I need a presenter who works on the radio that specializes in business that has been in the UAE 20 years. And what it'll do, it'll find those different links, right, and it'll pull up the best people who've got somewhere in their CV those phrases.
Okay. So it's not necessarily about using the right phrases, it's about using the right
terminology.
The phrase is only terminology. It's not necessarily that. It's about, what is it about?
No, I think what you're trying to get at, and I do understand where you're going on this, there's a lot of acronyms that people use if they're in recruitment. So, for example, we use time to hire, we use recruitment ratios, we look at successful fill rates and things like that, which are very recruitment terms. We use a thing called PRC, which stands for Potential Recruitment Consultant. It's an industry term. So you can put those in your CV.
So that's for somebody who is not yet a recruitment consultant. You've got a term for that person who might be one.
PRC, yeah.
Wow.
SINT candidate interview.
That's remarkable. Okay. I suppose all industries do it.
IOP, interview on premise. Old school.
Interview on premise?
It's from the 80s.
Oh, you got to bring that back.
No. I'm trying to leverage myself out.
You're trying to go forward.
Exactly.
But it's an interesting dilemma, because I always think I want to cut through to what is actually there. What do you do? What do you offer?
Yeah.
But I want to do it so that it could be found. And my fear would be, and I'm not looking for anything at the moment, I just think I'm probably quite behind the times when it comes to LinkedIn in terms of, describing what I do, the skills I may or may not have.
Well, what we do, to really give you a very basic view of how we search for candidates, we look at the types of companies that we want to target. So if we're looking for, let's say we're looking for a oil and gas company, so let's mention Baker Hughes. They're a big one. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll say Baker Hughes, similar companies, Schlumberger, Exxon, Chevron, etc. Mm-hmm. Then we'll look at, this person needs to be a marketing director upstream. So already you're defining where this person comes from. They've got to come from one of these set of companies, this job description, and 20 years experience. What will happen is then LinkedIn will find that person that's got the closest matches to that.
Right.
Now, if I'm looking for somebody who works in the broadcast industry, we'll look for Mirror Business FM. We'll look at all the other radio company shows around here. We'll look at presenter, 20 years experience, business talk. It will find you. No matter what your CV says, because your CV will say Mirror Business FM, lead presenter, business, and it'll have a price. It'll say Dubai Eye, etc. So we'll be able to find you. So you don't have to fill your CV with jargon. It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Plain English is very good because then recruiters go, they're talking about what they've done and what they've achieved. That's the key thing.
Okay. But you do need to think about the way you present yourself and the way the skills that you highlight. You need the point is you've got to do the work in the first place.
You have to sell yourself.
Yeah, you do. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, not putting what you're good at. You're part of one of your top bits should be interviewing, leading industry figures like David Mackenzie.
I like these little whispering asides that you're doing today. These are good. They're working for me.
Farage going to edit those out, isn't he?
He will. Yeah.
It's my second voice.
It'll just be a gap. And we'll be like, oh,
what's he saying? That's because I'm losing my voice, I think. Yeah, but that's what I mean. You have to put in your CV what you actually do and what you've actually achieved. Then whatever happens, algorithm, a human, a client will find you.
Okay. That kind of doesn't lead us to the main topic of the day.
But by the way, don't use that app. It's terrible.
Yeah, fair enough. So AI apply, whatever it is, it just amused me. What's happening in the market right now? We were going to get to this last week. Didn't get to this. And what's interesting about this is, well, okay, you need to know what's happening in the market now. But this is a LinkedIn post by a lady called Elena Sopicheva. She describes herself as an HR talent partner, principal consultant, connecting leaders in tech, financial services, manufacturing, and FMCG, building teams that thrive and careers that last. And she works for you.
She does.
Yeah. It's an interesting article, this.
She's really
good.
Because,
you've talked a lot about Elena over... I don't mean that. That sounded wrong. You've spoken of her in glowing terms.
Elena is my business is focused on specialists. So I have Farhan, who does my banking side, is an amazing guy. I have Elena. I have various other people in my business. Elena is an HR specialist. She works in the same space as me.
Right.
And she really understands that space. She really is an expert in it. And what she does, she tries to share her thoughts on LinkedIn. And she has a massive following, both clients and candidates on LinkedIn.
Well, you can see why, because she's one of these people who's able to grab your attention.
Yeah.
So her opening statement is this, and I look at a lot of things. I read your latest article. We'll come to that later as well.
Did you think legend when you read it?
I even went for the abbreviated version. I was like, ledge. That's how I appropriated that one. Her opening gambit in this article, David Mackenzie, is I'm getting this question on almost every candidate call. So I'm kind of on the hook. I'm like, well, what is it? What is the question? Which is a smart way of doing it. And she starts to, it unfolds. Here's what, from what I'm seeing across the GCC, it's not a slow market, it's a selective one. And she did that very clever thing of, there's the question, here's the answer, but I want to know more about the answer. And then it starts to go into details. And it was short as well, not too long, because my attention span is, I don't know, I've got a millennial attention span, and I'm not a millennial.
It's not you. The average read on LinkedIn is 3 minutes.
I know, it's all 2-minute, 3-minute reads, isn't it? But what she says is this, and I'm wondering if this is what you're still seeing. This is a couple of weeks old, this article. There is still hiring across banking, financial services. True. Fintech, digital platforms.
Yep.
Yeah. FMCG and manufacturing.
Slowing.
Okay. Semi-government and strategic hires.
Massive.
Huge. Okay.
Banking and government are huge.
Okay. So the difference, and this is what I wanted to ask you about, see if you can expand on this a bit. Companies are no longer open to seeing what's out there, in quotes. They know exactly what they want.
Yeah.
Tighter mandates, fewer interview rounds, but higher scrutiny.
Yep.
Less time to spend. And then less room for your 85% there. It's not good enough.
What we call the wild cards.
You've got to fit.
Yeah, I mean, she's absolutely spot on. I mean, clients now, there still is, we're still doing quite well in this market. I mean, I think our Our RPO business is up quite a bit, which is our second part of our business, a much bigger part. Our exec recruitment business is down by a big chunk, I reckon about 30%.
Okay.
But what we're getting now, and this is a very interesting dynamic, we're getting more exclusive roles. We're getting roles that are moving a lot quicker, but clients are very tight on their briefs. So, example, I've got a role, I had a role for a commercial officer for a maritime business, and it needed to have somebody who had a really specific skill set in the maritime industry. I've got 4 people for it because that for me is a much easier brief to find because I can hone in on exactly the skill set they need.
Right.
The client has seen all 4, they're going to hire 1. Now, I got loads of people who worked in the maritime industry but didn't have tug experience or haulage experience. I'm not an expert in this, by the way. I learned this from the client. The clients are lovely. I really like working with them.
Tug and haulage.
This is my world.
It really is. No, I think it's fascinating because, every day's a new experience for you, isn't it?
What have I done this week? I've done education, I've done FMCG, I've done maritime, and I've done defence. See, we are sector agnostic. We're functional specialists, which means that all I do is I place HR and general managers.
Yeah.
Same with Elena. Farhan does banking. Dan does tech and IT. We've got various people in our business that focus on very key areas, but they cover every single industry.
So at a time like now, when you have this attitude to mandates that they are much tighter, there is much less scrutiny.
Yep.
There is a little bit more pressure on you.
Huge
I would
amount.
think.
Yeah, we have to get mandates sorted within 2 weeks now, maximum time.
And what would it have been previously?
Sometimes some of our clients take a long time. Usually, we turn stuff around in a week to sort of 14 days maximum. Usually a week.
Right.
If we get a mandate on a Monday, we'll typically have CVs screened, the top 3 to you by Friday.
Okay.
We're very quick, but because we know our market. If you come to me with an HR director's brief, I don't even need to advertise that job. We typically don't advertise it roughly 80% of our jobs because we know who the candidates are.
You know who they are, yeah. Okay. So Elena's next thing is this. She then moves to the candidate side, and she says, "I'm seeing 2 extremes: strong niche profiles moving quickly." Which is, backs up everything you've just said, and good candidates getting stuck in long processes with no clear outcome.
Yep.
Okay.
That's clients' indecision.
Right.
So we're facing an situation now where clients, if they've got a mandate to recruit, they've got the budget to recruit, they're almost taking too long now because they think there's a better person around the corner. Right. So we're finding a situation now where some clients, I keep going, well, this person's fantastic. They fit everything you ask, but we can have a quick look out and see if there's anyone else. And what they do, they wait too long. That person goes. Oh, well, I want that person again, so we have to go back and do it again. So our clients, if you look at some of the ones we regularly recruit for, we're very honest with them, saying, look, this is the best you're going to get.
Okay.
You have to believe us. This is the best, and they typically will move with that because we're advisors to them.
Right, okay. So we're back to that, kind of the original point that we were making earlier. Your profile, you've got to have your profile right, and you've got to be ultra-targeted.
You've got to be able to be findable on LinkedIn. You've got to be in a situation where our researchers, when they search for you on LinkedIn and search for you on Google, they can find you because you've either posted articles, you've liked and shared comments, or your CV says exactly on LinkedIn what you do.
I've started to take your advice, by the way.
Are we talking about work here or other stuff?
It's a good point. That leaves you in a dilemma. How honest do I want to be? No, with LinkedIn, I'm starting to celebrate things and do the insightful click and actually make some comments.
Well, you've been commenting on a few of ours.
I have.
But this is an interesting one. And
not rudely.
No, very good, very positive stuff. Because obviously we share your stuff as well. What you're doing there is we have over 500,000 followers on LinkedIn. We're one of the highest in the recruitment market.
There's about 75,000 people following you.
Yes, I know. Yes.
He's famous.
Yeah, I'm not sure that infamous may be better. Yeah. But the reality is what you do, you may have Mira may have, I don't know, 100,000 followers. As soon as you like and share on our post, or you share one of our posts, you suddenly enter into that 500,000. Our 500,000 followers can then see your comments. Yeah. Suddenly, you've doubled the size of your, quadrupled the size of your reach. Yeah. That is the key thing. Always look at how you can expand your network beyond.
It's good advice, and it relates very specifically to what we're talking about now. So back to Elena's article. What she says has changed the most, and this is how the market is operating at the moment, how the market feels, how the market is. Hiring is more cautious. I'd say that's a given. Yeah. Fair comment, though. Candidates are more risk aware.
Yes.
And both sides are taking longer to commit.
Yes and no. It depends.
Yes and no, it depends. Well, not sure, could be.
Yeah, it's typical recruiter's answer.
It was good.
Yes, if I can say maybe, I will do. If a client has got a mandate with us now, and one of the first things we ask, when do you need to hire this person by? Right. Well, the incumbent is leaving in 2 weeks' time, so this is hyper urgent. Yep. We then know that they're going to make a decision quickly. If they go, well, look, we're just looking for the right person, that's going to be a long mandate. It's going to take time, because it's a bit like anything. Is when you, especially in this market, you go and look at a rental house, you see one you really like, you go, ooh, that's really good, but there might be others better. The fact of life is, the highly unlikely is just go for the one you've seen. Yeah. And I think the problem with clients these days is too much choice. And weirdly enough, with good candidates, there's also too much choice. The candidates usually have 2 or 3 offers on the go at any one point if they're really good. So even though this market is scarce, that we are technically, we've halved our numbers of roles. Right. Good people are still finding good roles,
which is positive.
Absolutely,
which is good.
This market, Tim, we've been doing this long enough. I guarantee, he says cautiously, Q4 will be back out the other side.
Lots of people coming in here are saying exactly the same thing. We're coming into summer, so it makes sense. Elena then offers some advice for candidates. Let me just run this by you as well. Be clear on your positioning, because I do everything is no longer landing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's kind of a given, but I think it's worth saying again. Be transparent. Transparency is critical. Multiple parallel processes often create pressure and misalignment on both sides.
Yes.
Right. So just be upfront.
Honestly, with recruiters, our job is to advise you. Yeah. We are paid by the client, let's be honest about that, but we have to make sure you take that job. If you're in a situation where you go, look, I really like this job, David, and we talked about this last week, but I've got 2 others in the frame. I'm going, brilliant, thanks for being so honest. Yep. What it means then, I can make sure I've got people behind that person in case they don't take it, because I don't want to disappoint the client. But you are still my favourite. What I will say to you...
Showbiz rules.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love you the most.
I love you the most until you let me down. Yeah. So what I always say to candidates is, okay, tell me about those other 2. How do they stack up against the role I've got? And they go, look, the other one, that one's better. These are the reasons why. And they go, look, my advice is to take that one, don't take mine. Let me explain why that is important. I can convince you to take a job, but it may not necessarily be the right job for you. That's the wrong thing for a recruiter to do. Right. Because we are in a position of power, we can sell a company. And people come to us because they trust us. We must never abuse that trust. So what we have to do is we have to look at those 3 opportunities. If the one we've got is the best one, we tell them we think it's the best one. If it's not, tell them to take the other one. The reason being, they'll take that one, they'll get into a company we're not currently working with. In a year's time, that person will become a client and will brief us. We will make money in a couple of years' time. Right. It then gives us a chance to be very honest with our existing clients, say, look, I don't think this person's going to take the job. We need backups. We don't want the process to stall because you're banking on one person. Both parties are happy then.
Okay. And you're looking at a long-term future, long-term business rather than...
We're always, honestly, one of our core values is long-term relationships. And I don't think recruiters do that here. I think you have to support a candidate in their quest and be honest with them. But the candidate has to be open with you. And I think sometimes we feel that candidates aren't very open with us.
So transparency is critical. Move quickly when the right role comes. Good opportunities don't stay open.
Yeah, don't mess around.
Sound advice.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many analogies we could give on that. But yeah, if I always say you will only ever be 80 to 85% happy with a job.
Really?
Yeah, because there's always the intangible. I'm moving, I'm a bit scared. I may not be able to do the imposter syndrome. I'm not 100% sure about, it's a much bigger company. There's always there's that.
That's a bigger variance than I would have thought, actually. 15% of
85, I think. Yeah, 85. So it's 15% is, you don't know what could happen. You might go there and go, I hate it. I hate the commute. I hate the people there. I misjudged it. Remember, whatever happens when you get into a job, give it 6 months. Because it's like moving into a new house. Everything goes wrong as soon as you move into a new house, don't you? And you have to give it time. Things get fixed, and then it becomes a home. You start living in it. You start making it your own. Same in a job. You get into your office, you start getting your desk, you become comfortable, you see the people beside you, you start engaging with your boss, you understand how they work. Whenever you go into a new job, I always use this analogy, it's walk quietly with a big stick. What that means is your stick is your knowledge and your power and your influence and what you do, but don't use it to smack people. Just listen, understand for a couple of months, get a feel for the company, then start using your knowledge.
I really thought you were going to say, get yourself comfortable in the job and then start beating people with your stick. And I was like, this is
the metaphor, the stick of knowledge. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
I think I think this culture now, maybe not my generation, your generation, but some of the youngsters that we deal with who are late 20s, early 30s, they make decisions too quickly. Oh, right. It's wrong. I'm going to leave. You have to go through a process where it's going to be uncomfortable. It may not work. Learn from that and get better.
Sometimes things have to bed in.
They do. They always do.
Sometimes you have to adapt as well, and sometimes you have to change.
You made this point. I'm always learning. If you go into a company, you have to learn how that company operates. Yeah. You need to give them what you've got, but you need to take from them what's interesting as well.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. The last thing that candidates should focus on was this. Don't rely on one process. Pipelines matter more than ever right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, you may think that this job at Mira Business FM is your best job in the world. Have a backup in case you don't get it.
Okay. All right, then. There's a stark warning.
That's not from your boss.
Okay, I just hope he's not listening. He doesn't listen anyway, so it's fine.
He doesn't listen to my segment, does he?
Actually, he listens to everything. It's frightening.
I like that. Actually, that's because he's interested in it's his business, and
I think that is a good thing. Actually, to be fair, but you don't. No, you don't. I say exactly what I want. Hiring managers. Here you go. At the moment, clarity and speed are now your biggest competitive advantage.
Yeah. If you're seen, somebody said the other day to me, I applied, I got an interview in the first week, and they offer me 2 weeks later. Right. I'm so impressed with how they are as a business. So what's happened is HR has hopefully taken how the business operates and transferred that to their recruitment process.
Okay, and good candidates have other options, so that's another little USP, isn't it?
But also, a lot of people get put off by the client's culture because of the interview process. If the wrong people are interviewing, there's no clarity, takes too long, there's no feedback, candidates switch off. And by the way, then they tell 6 of their friends.
I guess so, and I suppose if that's a good benchmark for what a company is going to end up being like, isn't it?
Glassdoor.
Yeah, okay.
Glassdoor is a review site for companies. It's not used so much anymore, but it used to be used, and people before they had an interview used to go onto that.
Yeah, okay. No, I've heard that before. I mean, that's the article, and I think there was a great deal in that made sense. But I liked the grabbing of the attention, and I think there was some real value.
Yeah,
in what she'd said.
Elena's a very real recruiter. She understands her market. She understands how candidates think, and she advises clients. And clients go to her for advice. She has the best retention rate of any clients that I've had in a long time.
There's nothing startling in there.
No, it never should be.
But that's the point, isn't it? It's just everything in there was a good reminder. It was a good kind of crystallization of ideas. Everything in my head, I'm like, oh, what is that? Oh, okay.
I've got a friend who's a futurologist, okay, and every time I hear him talk, he says everything we know already. He just pitches it a different way. Sounds more exciting, sounds a bit more innovative, sounds a bit smarter. But actually, when you boil it down, what we do is a very simple process. A client gives us a brief. We find a candidate. We match the culture, the experience, and the personality to the job. That's it. But unfortunately, we've got two individuals that can have bad days, that think differently, change their mind. That's the intangibles of our job. So the more communication we get with candidates and clients, the easier it is for us to find the perfect person.
I'm with you. Life gets in the way sometimes, doesn't it?
Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, let me tell you. If you're listening via a podcast platform, thank you for tuning in to Mirror Business FM. So the next point with you is your latest. Is this out yet, by the way?
No,
it's not out.
Hot off the press. It's
not even on a press. Is it?
It's in Manuri's box of tricks at the moment. She's about to.
Is it really?
Yeah, Manuri's going to post it, I think, in the next week or so.
Oh, okay. So should we not talk about this?
No, go for it. I always tell you. We basically, what we do with our blogs is we bank them. So whenever we have an interesting article we want to write, we write it, and then Manuri posts it when she thinks it's right.
When she thinks she can get away with it.
She loves doing it. She loves doing the pictures as well.
Love it. Well, it's interesting this because, and you gave me, I don't know if you can talk about the example, or you could talk about it in general terms, really, because it's a good example. But the headline of this blog is this: culture over cash, the new deal breaker in hiring. So money used to win the talent war, but it doesn't do it anymore.
No, and I think this is, and again, it's difficult for people to hear who's searching for a job and can't find a job, but the reality is, I have a friend who had two offers, very senior person in the commercial world. One was paying at least 25,000 dirhams more than her current package.
A monthly 25,000
Yeah, she's very senior. She's like a chief exec level.
Right.
So she's in a unique situation where she doesn't need to move. Money is not the massive driver. What is a driver is culture, opportunity, empowerment, and the chance to make a difference in a company. She turned down a role that was paying her 20,000 more than the current offer because the culture in the place she's gone to now is better. There's flexibility at work. There's more opportunity. She's been given a very clear career path of where she'll go in the next 2 years. And the person she's reporting to spent a lot of time during the interview process getting to know her.
Okay, and that really swayed her, obviously.
The other one is a huge company, decent business, no flexibility. She met the boss for half an hour, who she'd be reporting to, and she didn't connect.
And see, for most people listening, this is a salary level above most people, of the likes of us,
including me.
But 20,000 dirhams is
a salary of a normal person.
Well, it is, yeah, exactly. And you're willing to do that. It's that important.
She is a chief exec level role, so she is a person that can affect the bottom line by 10 to 100 times that figure easily.
Right.
So she's a valuable asset to a company. So she's in scarce supply at the moment. She's a bottom line commercial person.
You point out in the article, this is not just Gen Z idealism. This was not like a knee-jerk reaction. This is a genuine. It would not fill me with delight. I wouldn't be feeding my soul to go and work at. I
think, and I'm not in this situation, probably nor are you, but I've never been in a situation where I've had the ability to turn down 20 grand increase.
No.
But the reality is, money is good because it solves a lot of problems day to day. And I think when you get to her level, it sounds a lot of money, but it isn't. Because what's important to her is, can she do her job properly? Are there opportunities? Does she connect with the leadership team? Does she see herself there in 5 years' time? As you get older in your career, you're looking at the end of your career at some point. And there is the glide path back down to that. Now, most people who are around their 50s, they probably work till they're about 60, 65 these days. If you're in the UK, it's like 102, I think, because the pension doesn't cut in until then. I think your bus pass is like 400 now. But you look at your glide path, and what you want to do is, around about your 50s, you need to be at the peak of your experience. This is when you're hitting your chief exec role, you're head of HR, head of marketing, head of sales, and you're really, your knowledge is kicking in, your management experience is kicking in, your network's kicking in, you've got 5 to 10 years of really going for it on that period of time.
No, that's fair. But you also argue, and let me just find the quote here. This isn't just Gen Z idealism; it's showing up across every age group and seniority level as well. So this is not just something you're seeing from somebody who has some money, has maybe a little bit of there's a bit of reserve in that tank, isn't there? So is in that fortunate position to be able to make what to most of us would be a very difficult choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
More than most. But you're seeing this across, kind of across the board.
I think less so at the junior end, because at the junior end, it's almost subsistence living to a degree sometimes in Dubai.
Sure.
Because of the rents, etc., and the cost of living.
No, I get that.
But if you look at, I look at Manuri, our intern, who's now a full-time marketing person with us. She chose to come back to us from a big multinational who were paying her more. The reason she did that, she wasn't listened to. She didn't fit in. She was just left alone. She wasn't managed. She wasn't given a goal or anything. And she said, and her last bit, she didn't feel part of the culture. Now, Manuri is very much part of our culture. She's given the opportunity to really develop and grow. We'll probably keep her 2 years, and then she'll go on something bigger and better.
Right.
But because we listened to her, we understood her, and we gave her challenge, and we gave her respect, and we gave her the thanks for doing good things. She didn't get that in the last company.
I mean, if you're lucky, you get to do what you like to do. You get to do what you're supposed to do, maybe.
Really? I don't know if many people do you?
Maybe they don't, but if you're lucky, and if you have the opportunity to do that, then you're fortunate. But also, that makes your life better, I suppose.
Well,
I mean, why get out of bed if you don't like going to work?
Look, and this is the 85 bit, by the way.
Yes.
So somebody said to me, do you enjoy being a recruiter? And I said, I love being a recruiter. Do I enjoy running a business? Not so much anymore. And I've been very open with you about that.
Yeah.
But I've got really good people, so my job of running the business is relatively easy. But I remember when it wasn't, I just didn't enjoy it. So some days I'd walk in and go, I don't enjoy doing this. And then I'd go meet a client, a really good candidate, and my day would flip around the other way. I genuinely really enjoy being a recruiter, and I love talking to clients, love talking to candidates. Very basic level.
You've got to play to your strengths, haven't you? And you're never going to like everything.
No.
But if you can at least get through having to sit in accounts and do whatever it was you didn't enjoy doing.
The bad days, yeah.
Having to work on credit control, whatever it is that was tough.
I have bad days when I've got a candidate up for a final meeting, and the candidate said they're going to accept it. We get them an offer and they turn it down. To me, that's a bad day. I've let a client down and a candidate down. Yeah. So I come out of that feeling, pretty low, because I think I can do this really well. I know all the answers. The answer is you don't know all the answers. You have to just keep learning and understanding, should I have listened better? Did I not gauge that properly? What went wrong? You have to self-analyze.
Okay. We're talking about culture over cash. Is that more important? David Mackenzie arguing that maybe, with a lot of people, it is. Did the pandemic change that? Because we went from this, you're in the office 9 to 5, or you're at a particular place for a certain number of hours, and that's what you do. There's the potential drudgery of that. And all of a sudden, everything changed. You're at home, you're on your laptop, and you feel it was a completely different feeling.
Yeah, it changed our industry massively.
Yeah.
I think candidates were very happy to be in a job. And I think there was more loyalty to companies then who looked after them and treated them properly.
Right.
But like everything in the Middle East, that changes in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it moves quickly here, doesn't it? Yeah.
And in many ways, if somebody comes and offers you, the thing is, if somebody comes and offers you 3 times more than you think you're worth, you know what you're worth. Be cautious. There's a reason why they're doing that.
Yeah, okay. So it's going to be a high-stress environment. It's going to be
short term. Might be they want you to fill a short. They might want to take you out of the market because you're a good person doing this, and they want to take you away from the competitor and bring you into theirs. Could be anything.
Nobody can work with the boss man, so they
exactly,
or boss woman, I suppose. All right then.
Get advice. Whenever you get those situations, ask people's advice.
Yeah. Okay. What define culture in a company?
Oh, that's an interesting one.
It's a difficult one, isn't it?
How would I define culture in my company? I look at it, do people feel valued as individuals in my company? Hopefully, most of the time they do. Sometimes they don't when they do something wrong. But then how do we treat them when they do something wrong? Do we just scold them? No, the answer is right. We need to get you to learn from what you did wrong so you don't make that mistake again, and don't make you feel bad, because everyone makes mistakes. And I think the problem with some companies here is there's very much I will tell you to do this and you just do it. And I think that's a bad culture. You have to be listened to, you have to be valued, you have to be respected in your workplace, but you also, as an individual, have to work hard.
Is environment part of that? Do you know what? Why I ask you that? I was at In5 Tech yesterday in Knowledge Village, and it's an incubator type place, and you can work for a couple of hours there or take space or whatever. And I walked in, and there was immediately this. It's a very different environment. I don't work in that environment. It's a very different thing to experience. And I wandered through, and there's little food stands and a little cafe, and there were these little single booths, like isolation booths that people are in working.
Teams booths.
Yeah, and it just felt very different, kind of refreshing to be there. How much is environment part of culture in an organisation? Because companies spend fortunes kitting out offices in a certain way, bringing in consultants to tell them how to do that.
It's interesting. You go back to COVID, there are people that hate working in the office because they're introverts. They like to be at home, very comfortable in their space. And I think COVID taught that those people have a place in the world and they can just do it. I think culture is a very important thing. One thing I like about our office is very open. We've got a pool table, we've got a breakout area, we've got sound booth, but they're quite big. You can make individual calls in there to clients and things. So, and I like it. Our radio's on in our office, but also people chat about what's the latest series on Netflix. There's a relaxed culture, but when we get down to it, all of us work hard because we have targets. So I like to think that, let's say, 80, 90% of my people are working all the time. Some aren't.
So you're not the traditional kind of tower. Have you ever seen what's that show, 30 Rock, where Alec Baldwin's at the top, sat behind the desk?
You know what? I have the worst. We're open plan. I sit with my team.
Yeah.
And I'm very much part of the team. There's no offices. There's no hierarchy. We're a very flat company, and everyone can say something to me and talk to me and stuff like that, but I'm not the traditional MD. And I believe that I still bill, I still go and see clients, so I like people to learn of what I do, and I like to transfer my skills across.
You still like doing what you're doing as well?
I love doing what I really like being a recruiter. I like the whole aspect of meeting clients. I love getting people into good jobs. I love keeping in contact with my clients. I bumped into somebody here, by the way, I hadn't seen for 20 years. It was Angie,
in the office here?
Yeah, she's a PR agency lady. She goes, David Mackenzie. I went, oh my God, I haven't seen you for 20 years.
Wow. We're bringing people together.
I know, but I
didn't know that.
But I love that about here, because I've been here so long. It's really nice when people reach out and go, David, I haven't spoken to you for like 5 or 6 years. Like I was having dinner with my wife the other day, and one of my old clients came and said, David, I'm really sorry. I went, Rashid, how are you, mate? He said, well, you remember me? I said, yeah, you're a great client. And he was a lovely guy. So I love all that sort of stuff. But I'm an extrovert, and I know that.
Oh, I know. I have noticed. We've got a couple of minutes left. I'm just looking through the rest of your article, which I'm kind of reading while I'm looking through it. But people are looking, candidates are looking for 3 specific things. I like this. Not ping pong tables or free snacks. Although that for me would go a long way. I've got to say, free coffee and ping pong.
Well, did you have camel milk out there the other day, didn't you?
We do have some.
You know what? I really like that.
Did you enjoy it?
It's
a tang to it, isn't it?
Yeah, I had the chocolate, and I had the camel milk, and I had the ice cream.
Did some of the ice cream?
Well, to be honest, my dog ate most of the ice cream, but.
Well, as long as it was enjoyed, that's the key, isn't it? Really. Should dogs eat ice cream? Dogs shouldn't eat chocolate, should they?
No, shouldn't eat chocolate. Ice cream's all right.
Ice cream's all right.
Unfortunately, it does. Yeah,
yeah, we don't need to follow this down this path, do we? That's fine. People are looking for 3 specific things. A positive culture. We've talked quite a lot about culture there. A lower salary feels like freedom when you're trusted. and a higher one feels like a cage when you're just not listened to. That's a good phrase.
That's really good, actually. Yeah, I completely.
You wrote that.
You know why?
Why?
I'm like the Morgan Freeman of the recruitment world, aren't I? Trusted, loved on every single silver screen.
Oh, let me tell you. Another one, boundaries that stick. Managers who say, log off, it's 5 p.m., not ones who glorify the work all night culture.
That's a point I've reiterated. I keep banging on about this all the time. Is my guys get in at 8:30. We have rigid hours. At 5:30, I'm expecting them to leave that office and go and spend time with their families. Very few people stay beyond 5:30 in my office. I don't have an issue. I do. Some of the senior people do. I don't expect anyone to be here past 5:30.
And you're not watching. There's no sort of you left at 5:31. You left at 5:30.
Honestly,
that happens a lot.
My guys, literally, I could look at my watch when they leave. But I don't. To me, there's got to be life outside work. Like, I'm an athlete. I do stuff in the morning. So I get up at 5 and I run and I gym, etc. But some people do it at the back end of the day. They've got dogs or they've got kids or they've got, I want them to have a life outside of MJ because it makes their life in MJ more enjoyable. And there's more to talk about. There's more to engage with people on.
Yeah. And that's much more important than a lot of people give credit to, I think, give credence to.
Yeah.
The last thing that people are really looking for is a mission that matters. They want to build something real, not just make shareholders richer. That's a nice thing to do, of course it is, but it's got to mean something.
I think it has. And I think one of the good things about my business is it's all about people. It's lovely when you place somebody in a job and they really appreciate it. It's more important when 2 years' time you go back to them, how's it going? I love this job. That to me fills me with pride. I'm so pleased when I speak to people like that. It makes me realize what I do is actually making a difference to people. And I'm not solving world peace or I'm not curing cancer, but I'm just getting a person a job they love, which means they can earn money, they can support their family, and they can grow as an individual.
It's a pretty decent contribution, though, isn't it? There must be a feel-good factor in that.
There is. It really is. You talk to any recruiter who's probably a bit older. Part of what they do is because they have an immense value in making people happy in their roles and their careers.
It's easy to be cynical about that, I think, but for a lot of people, you do something for a long time, you put a lot into it, there has to be some
I'm cynical about loads of things. The one thing I'm not is cynical about people's happiness. I think I can't guarantee the job I place you in will be the job you'll love.
Yeah.
What I can do is guarantee that it will be the right move for you because the dialogue we have means that I've found the right place for you. And the ultimate success for me is when I speak to you in 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, 10 years. David, thanks so much for placing me. I loved it.
As well, when a client comes up to you 5 or 6 years down the line, or you run into somebody 20 years later.
Give you an example. There's a lady called Eloise, who's one of my clients, messaged me after 2 years. We did some really good work for 2 years. She messaged me, go, can I buy you a coffee? You're my favorite recruiter. I've got a really good job for you. I loved how we worked before.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
That makes me feel good about my job.
Yeah, nothing like good word of mouth, is there,
yeah.
I think. That's pretty much it. That's all the time we've got. David Mackenzie is the MD of Mackenzie Jones. I'm getting this right now. I'm not calling you a CEO now, because you're not keen.
Call me what you want. I don't mind.
Well, what about this? What? You are the kingpin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Warhorse? I loved Warhorse.
Yeah, well, that's Christmas.
Oh,
yeah.
Why has Warhorse got to do with Christmas?
It's just a special festive period way to address you. I don't know. Best I could do at short notice.
Goodness me.
There you go. Thanks for coming.
A pleasure. Thank you very much.
Don't forget, this interview is going to be uploaded. It will be available today on our YouTube channel. It will be on LinkedIn. There'll be clips on Instagram as well. This is Mirror Business FM.